Hey, 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 it is 9 o'clock and we are live and excited to be here tonight for our amazing Wednesday night training. And we are going to be, you know, I'm going to tell you, we're going to have some information on here tonight that's absolutely, if you've never seen the information that Rena Batt shares, you're going to be blown away because she literally has some amazing, and I mean amazing information to share with us. Most likely, I got to get her slideshow up here from the beginning, but she's going to be joining us here in just a minute, and I'm going to tell you that her information that she shares. Let me just tell you a little bit about. Hey, Andrew. Hey, Jana from Utah. Uh, and I'm not sure who that is, but that's a Facebook user. What's up? Excited for Rena, Deb, and Mark. Hey, Mark, good to have you on with us, my friend. Mark, you're going to really love this. This is cool stuff. We've got Annette Paz on here. Lots of people going to be joining us tonight, and we're excited for everybody here. So, Rena Batt, let me tell you a little bit about Rena. Rena is a lady who has been working in the health and nutrition industry for many, many years. And she has worked with companies sharing information, sharing what she does for a living. She brings her years of experience as a mother, grandmother, caretaker for her late husband. Her late husband had ALS. And she's had many ups and downs in her life, which has increased her faith and her optimistic attitude. And there's always been just something amazing around the corner. She's been a business owner for over 25 years. And now she's doing what she loves, which is being a teacher, an educator, teaching people about how to improve their health and how to improve their nutrition. And so there's Annette Paz, there's Lisa Peterson joining us from California today, but she's moved to Georgia. Lisa, Liz Nichols, Pat Fleming, Lori's on. So anyway, back to telling you about Miss Rena, who we've had join us here. She's a certified health advocate practitioner, and she's a certified microscopist. She's helped thousands of people gain clarity about how their own bodies work and how they can take responsibility for obtaining good health. She believes that understanding the basics of nutrition, hydration, and alkalinity in the body, keeping your body alkaline, for more people to move forward, living a healthier life. Not only has she experienced it herself, but she's seen it happen for many, many people. Now, here's what's interesting is she's got a great testimonies and great information to share, and I'm going to let her share more about that. But what she does, and also she, as a microscopist, Rena, she takes blood samples, and she does it for lots of different reasons. But one of the beautiful things about it is she can take, with our products. One of the things we love is our products have an immediate effect on you and your body and your health and nutrition. So Rena, and she's agreed to come to our next live mastermind event, and she's going to bring her equipment with her. So she's going to be testing blood there. So what she does is she sticks your finger and gets some blood out, okay, and then puts it under the microscope and shows pictures. And she's going to be sharing some pictures with you tonight. And she says, okay, so this is what your blood looks like now. And I'm not even going to try to explain what she sees there. To me, it's almost like looking at a sonogram, when they have the babies and they're going, well, this is the head. And I'm like, really? That's the head? And, yeah, look, there's a foot. And I'm like, I thought that was an ear, so we don't know, we don't understand, but she's been trained and educated to be able to tell you and look at your blood sample and can literally tell you some of the issues you're having health-wise from your blood. So then what we do is she takes us, she uses the product, or when we do this at the event, you take the product, a dropper of CBD oil, or super green juice, or Purebody extra, spray it in your mouth, whether whatever it is that you're using. Boost Focus Fuel is another one. And so you spray it in your mouth, you take the capsules, and so then you wait, what, 30 minutes, Rena?
20,
30 minutes, 20 minutes. And then she pricks your finger again and puts your blood on the little piece of glass, that you got to be careful with. She could cut you with the glass and get blood, but she's going to prick the finger and puts it back under the microscope, and then is able to say, now look at the difference by putting the proper nutrition in your body. And it's absolutely amazing. So Rena has a PowerPoint that I'm going to share for her. So you're going to work with her. She's going to guide me through it. There's Lori. Here's another Facebook user. There's Debbie Stella. Go Rena. Go Rena.
Hi, everybody. Yep. Thank you for coming.
Christine on. She says she's ready. Lisa Diaz. We've got Kyle on. So we got lots of people joining us on the training tonight.
Yeah.
So let me, and Rena, you're going to have to walk me through this.
Well, you don't need to start that yet.
Okay.
You already kind of prefaced what I do. And so I just kind of wanted to kind of tell you how I got in touch with Touchstone and why I knew that this was going to be the company for me. And it started a couple of years ago, actually more than a couple of years ago, that my son, who is now 44, they were grooming him to go on the heart transplant list because he had a really wonky heart. He was born with it, and he's struggled all his life with it. And we've kept him as healthy as possible. I say we because it's been a joint effort. We really didn't have a lot of surgeries. He had, had a few surgeries when he was an infant, and they replumbed the inside of his heart. So his heart was a little walnut, and they took the inside out and put in baffles to make his heart work. So they couldn't do infant heart transplants back then in the 70s. So, nor did they have, because they didn't have, heart-lung machine to perform surgeries. 6 months later, they did have that. So they no longer do the surgery that they did on my son, Jeff. But he's done well over all these years, staying alkaline and doing what his mama says. And they actually sent him back to his pediatric cardiologist because the regular cardiologist did not know what to do with him now that he's an adult. And then they said, we only have 5 more years on this heart. That was 7 years ago. And we need to get you on the transplant list. And then 2 years ago, they said, sorry, we can't do the transplant because your liver's bad. That was a very devastating blow, except I immediately knew that we could probably cleanse that liver and it would be a different story. So I went on the prowl, on the Google prowl, but on Facebook I saw information about the zeolite, and there must have been the word liver in there because I clicked right on it, and it was somebody I knew. It was Jana Clinton, and we knew each other well, and I asked her about it, and I immediately ordered the deluxe PBX pack, and then the story is kind of history now, because he's been on it for a little over about 2 years, and the doctors are absolutely amazed at how his heart is healing, is working better than it ever has. His liver's just fine, and he aced his stress test. So I'm pretty excited. This is Mama Bear. So that's how I got started doing this. I mean, just being in this company, and the fact that it aligned with all of my beliefs about how to stay healthy, because it's worked for so many people over the years as I've done the live blood cell screening. So that's Jeff's story, and I wanted to start with that. And I'll show you his blood toward the end. But Alan, you can go ahead now and put up my little PowerPoint. pretty simple.
Yeah, what an amazing testimony. That is powerful. And so let me ask you a question or so.
Absolutely.
You're this is, I mean, you've lived with him, your son, and worked with him, and so do they feel like that the zeolite, the Purebody Extra zeolite, cleansed his liver and his body to the point that it allowed his heart to heal itself? Is that what they feel?
Yes. His heart was becoming weaker and weaker,
Yeah.
and I think that was partly because his liver was becoming dirtier and dirtier.
Right.
And and he had some, because of his heart dynamics. It has to work right to get the blood in all the places and to deliver the oxygen and take away the toxins. And if it's not, it just needs needed help.
Sure.
So they could not do a double transplant because
Yeah.
one would destroy the other. The heart would destroy the liver destroy the heart. So if we
Yeah.
can keep it we've got this wonderful cleansing product that can make that work better.
Because it's so powerful to show, because a lot of people that have cirrhosis of the liver or liver failure,
Mm-hmm.
they go jaundice, they turn yellow, they lose weight, and all their organs, because the liver is not removing the poisons and the toxins from the body, start shutting down, and quite a few of them do die from a heart attack or heart lung failure. And so that's a powerful. I just wanted to emphasize that.
Yeah.
When you remove the toxins from the body, the heavy metals and the toxins, and allow your body immune system to not have to fight everything, and those toxins are removed naturally and safely, what your body can do and to heal itself. So that.
Yeah. So here's my first one. So this is the first thing I learned when learning about alkalinity. And Dr. Arthur Guyton, author of the textbook of medical physiology, says the first thing is maintaining health is alkalize the body. The cells of a healthy body are alkaline, while the cells of a diseased body are acidic. Since our bodies do not manufacture alkalinity, we must supply the alkalinity from an outside source to keep us from being acidic and dying. And that becomes to food, right? I mean, it really does. One of the things about this is that we'll show you in a few minutes the pH scale. People with cancer have a pH of about 5, which is very low, and it's the way it is. And then people who are healthy have a pH of about 7.5, 7.45. And when a person goes from being unhealthy to healthy, that is a sliding scale. But if you were, let me put it this way, a person who is a 5.0 is 250 times more acidic than a person who is 7.0. So 7.5. So that the math is, it's 100 times more acidic the farther down you go on that pH scale. And I'll tell you how you can test your pH a bit later.
That's a powerful statement. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. It's like a Richter scale. Okay, so we all know that the river of life, our blood, it transports the oxygen and then nutrition and life-giving, nutrients, and it also is a medium of detoxification. One of the things, though, it is a real good predictor of health, and you get your blood done at the doctor's office all the time. So, it's no mystery that your health is obvious in your blood, and it can tell us many, many things. And I can really go deep in that, but I'm not going to go deep today. So next. Thank you, Alan, for being my assistant. So the first thing we need to know is what makes us acidic, because I will say almost, with the exception of few people who come in and I look at their blood, are already acidic. And we don't know exactly what that would be from, except for I give them a list like this and I say, okay, how's your stress levels? You know, do you know how your toxin levels are? How many drugs do you take? What is your diet like? Or do you eat a lot of fatty foods, a lot of sugar, a lot of alcohol? Do you smoke? Or do you already have an ailment? And I prefer people not, come in with their bottles of medicine and a list of all of their ailments. That's not what I do. I don't diagnose. I don't treat. I educate so people get it. And I think that when they see their blood goes nicely after the second poke, then I think they get it. So when I talk about little things like stress, I mean, there's a lot of things that encompasses stress and a lot of things that encompasses diet, like soda and not drinking water, not, uh, do I have to talk about toxins to the people on this call? I don't think so, because we all are very educated about the toxins in our, I just did a thing about my candle that I was flabbergasted that I had a black furnace filter because of my candle, and I was breathing that air. So yeah, it's kind of, and to become alkaline, it's a bit elusive because all of these things happen throughout our day. Everything on here, except for maybe if you don't have a disease, is happening on a daily basis. So how do you monitor that? How do you counteract that? So we have something here in our company that we can counteract this. Okay, now we go to the next. All right. So this is my blood, and I will say this is my blood on soda. And I used to drink a lot of soda. I never drank water. And this is actually a pretty, on the, I don't know if it's on the right side or left side for you guys, the before picture, let's say that. The before picture is my blood on soda. And the only reason I drank that soda was so that I could mess my blood up so that I could test a product. And the product I was testing was Calm. So I would, take here I did it, took my blood, and it's Rouleaued, it's low in oxygen, they're all stuck together. There's not a lot of other gunk going on in there because I don't usually have a lot of gunk, but it worked. I messed my blood up pretty good. And then I took one vial of the Calm, and I set my timer for 20 minutes. And voila, after picture is pretty darn sweet. And this after picture, if you can see the little kind of, it's not roundy, circly, it's kind of a, yeah, in this, yeah, I'm pointing at it, but you can't see me point, right? That is actually a T cell. And the T cell is the one that makes the antibodies. And the other cell up there that's not a red blood cell is a neutrophil. And a neutrophil identifies the organism or the invader and tells the T cell. And I've actually been a rare experience when I was in a class with doing microscope. One of the neutrophils and the T cells had snuggled up to each other while we were watching. This is when you see your own blood, it's live. It's not a picture like this. Everything's moving and things are happening, and these cells move around. And so these two, a neutrophil and a T cell, actually got together, and you could see things. There was a communication going on, and the instructor had never seen it. So it was a pretty exciting experience. So that is me, and another good reason why I use my Calm. Thank you. Yeah, you'll have to click through this because you've got your alkalinity on one side and your acidosis on the other side. So you can see the pH scale goes 1 to 14 at the top. And the aerobic metabolism can produce, with oxygen and glucose, can produce 36 units of ATP, which is our energy. It's the fuel to our individual cells. All of our cells use adenosine triphosphate. It's a big word, but ATP. Okay, you can keep clicking. And so this is oxidative respiration. It's the way our cells, move and breathe, basically. And next, and with the oxygenation, it it cleans the extracellular fluid. And the next one is the intercellular fluid. And it also, next, I can't do this myself, so I'm going like this. It increases the hemoglobin by 20%. So that's pretty nice for your body. It's like changing the oil in your car. It's like nothing's gunky. So on the anaerobic side, which is the pH below 7, you don't have any oxygen. And you saw the picture where it was low in oxygen. Only 2 units of ATP is produced. And there's fermentation. And it takes 18 times more sugar. And that's why people who are acidic crave sugar to produce, what the body needs. And so glucose molecule equals lactic acid molecules. And this is the most important thing for me. The anaerobes that live in this environment are yeast, fungus, bacteria, mold, worms, and parasites. And they live in your body because they love that anaerobic environment. But when you get alkaline, they can't reproduce, so they die off.
Did you say worms?
Yeah, I said worms.
Okay.
Yeah. And all of this you can see in the blood. So, okay, now this is me on the before picture. And this is after a big meal of pizza. And the reason that was what I used, I had to wait a little while to get it to get into my digestive system. I didn't digest that pizza down at all, really, because on that darker side of that slide, those are actually red blood cells all packed tightly together. And the reason they are is because I haven't digested down the fat that was in my pizza. And low oxygen and sluggish. I would assume brain fog. This is not a blood clot. It's not a blood clot. That is a totally different scenario. But that's about digesting our foods down. And I was just extremely thrilled when I took the boost of all things. That's all the only product I had to test that day. So I took the boost. I said, well, let's see what happens. And here we are. Another amazing, beautiful, oxygenated, energized pool of blood. Not a pool of blood, but sample of blood. And it looks almost similar to the other one. I was really kind of surprised it doesn't always happen this well. Sometimes in 20 minutes, it's not quite there. It depends on how acidic a person is as to how well they alkalize. I'm generally an alkaline person, and so that means it's easier for me to get results like this. And also remember too, when you wake up in the morning, you're the most alkaline you're going to be for the day. And then you're going to do everything you do during the day, whether it's work or play or, take your medication or you eat, obviously, whether you drink enough water, all of that comes into the scenario. And by the end of the day, you're the least alkaline you're going to be, or the most acidic.
Rena, I was able to do a test similar to, this test before on myself. And one of the things that really was so shocking to me was when they did my test of the before picture, how slow the blood moved, the red blood cells, and how when they were clumped together, it was almost like watching bumper cars that needed to be charged. And then the after picture for me, the blood moved so much smoother and just so much faster. They were moving around. Can you kind of touch base on how that affects your energy and how that happens in life?
Well, a lot of times we make sure people drink enough water as well when we do a demonstration. So hydration really helps your bloodstream. And of course, when your blood is easier, it pumps easier, it's easier on your heart, and it's easy, your blood pressure lowers. We've actually done blood pressure after someone has taken an alkalizing product. And we've also done blood after someone's had a massage, and it works. You can alkalize yourself with a massage. You can alkalize yourself with meditation, but it does this to the blood because the blood is, and I've almost talked about it this morning, it has a frequency, and the blood on this before picture is not a plus plus. Over here on the other side was a plus plus, so it's a positive, and it's got pH stands for potential for hydrogen. So the blood that is alkaline has more hydrogen. The blood that is acidic does not. It's very low in hydrogen.
Gotcha. That's amazing. And so, yeah, I mean, just the looks of that, and I can't wait until we get to do it live at the mastermind where they can see a live picture.
You going to be my guinea pig?
Yeah, I will be. I'll be happy to be. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then what happens to our bodies when we're acidic? Well, just about, I don't even need to list anything here. Just about every ailment under the sun it manifests itself if you're acidic. And me personally, when I was 40, I had osteoporosis. I had arthritis. I had allergies. I had asthma. I had asthma. And I don't have one single one. I had tumors, and all the tumors went away when I got alkaline.
That when I was going through your PowerPoint earlier, this was one of the ones that I stopped on and just looked at, and really shocked. And our greens and the ingredients in our super green juice and our super greens and of course our essentials, all of our products have a lot of greens in there. It says right on the canister it helps alkalize the body.
Yes.
And now, is that more from the spirulina and the chlorella, or is that from the greens themselves?
The greens themselves have enzymes, and enzymes really help our body alkalize. So enzymes and minerals, you put enzymes and minerals together, and that's what our vegetables have.
Right.
If they've got enzymes and minerals, that's alkalized. When we eat processed foods, hamburgers and meat and cheese and dairy and anything that isn't actually alive, it doesn't have enzymes and minerals in it.
Powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
And this is my son. And the before picture isn't all that bad. Not as bad as mine was on pizza. But it was his normal blood, and it was low in it. He wasn't as stuck together as mine was, but you see there's some really shiny spots in there. You got it right there. Yeah. That's actually a cholesterol crystal, and there's a couple of more tinier ones in there, up a little higher. Yeah, those are cholesterol crystals. Now they're not very big; they're pretty tiny.
Right.
What breaks those up? If you got a pretty good size cholesterol crystal, it could take up half the size of this little picture. And you want to break those up, and you break those up with enzymes. So, and so our what is it? The Super Greens Plus D have enzymes. Very good enzyme product. So those are really good products for. I just really need to test more products for you guys, for me too, to be able to use. I could do all of them.
So with the cholesterol, there's good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, and obviously this is the bad cholesterol that we're seeing.
Yes.
Now, does this cholesterol, because they talk about how high cholesterol and how it is sticky and how it can stick to the walls and cause clots, or does it to the other cells and cause clots?
Well, this form of the cholesterol is the early crystallization of the cholesterol. And we don't want that to happen because we need cholesterol to create hormones in our body. But when it's this way, it's easy to break up with enzymes. But when it's been running around in the bloodstream for a little longer, it turns to plaque. And plaque looks, it's the same cholesterol crystal, but it's covered in slime, I call it. It's covered in debris. It's gray and black and ugly, and it's the same thing. It's cholesterol, but now it's ready to stick to the arteries. And so you want to catch it before it gets to that point. And you might have a small one, or you might have a bunch of little ones as far as the plaque. But it is better to catch it before it gets too far along.
I'm blown away at this after picture.
I know.
What is? I mean, you can tell more about it, but the one question I have is, what happened to those cholesterol crystals over here?
Well, obviously, this little tiny drop of blood is one poke, and then the second one is a second poke. So I'm getting a completely different part of the blood. I don't know if it wasn't in this particular sample, but I have seen situations where even somebody who has a lot of cholesterol crystals in their first sample will have almost no, if they've taken an enzyme product.
Right.
The body just shatters them, and then the white blood cells take care of it for us.
These blood cells almost look like they're shining.
That's the oxygen. They are glowing. That's the oxygen on the outside that they are carrying after they've been to the lungs. Wow. So that's the shiny part. That's the glow. And his red blood cells aren't all the same size like we'd like to see, but that's the malfunctioning of the way his body works. Right. Happy to see a nice big white blood cell. Of course, white blood cells aren't white, but that's that. Right. And then you see the little black dots all around, the little black dot. Yep. Those are platelets. And when Jeff goes in to the doctor, he gets his blood taken. And they say, well, we can't find any white blood cells and we can't find any platelets. And so you can't have this surgery, which is what happened 2 years ago and why they found the liver problem. But his hematologist said, oh, it's okay. Jeff's body responds. You're just not going to see it initially. So if you poke him twice, it happens. When I poke someone's finger, the second time I poke their finger, they will have platelets in their bloodstream because I poked them. The body, bam, responds right away and sends out those platelets to, if you were bleeding badly, you'd be glad that those platelets were there to plug the hole.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that is so happy. And that's all I have with unless you want to go farther.
No, that's fine.
That was as far as I was going to go today. We could go a little farther if you want.
No, that is.
We'll save it for later.
Yeah, and that is so powerful, and I'm sure that does anybody who's watching, you can comment. Do you have a particular question that you would like to ask Rena? I know that it's amazing. Let's see. I don't want to publicly post this, however, since putting PBX drops, maybe on that quarters, people know. Yeah, probably so. I had this person sent me a message and said that they were giving their child the Purebody Extra, and it had changed the way their baby's poop smelled. It smelled like quarters, and they said, is that the metals that are being removed? Is that possible?
It is possible. It is possible. I had a brother-in-law who, when he was detoxing, he sweated paint, literal paint came out of his. He's a painter.
Wow.
And paint came out of his pores, and he smelled like paint. Yeah. Wow. And my late husband, when he detoxed, he smelled like smoke because he was a smoker.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people, when they detox, and this is important for people to understand and to hear what Rena just said and what our caller just said is a lot of times people see these reactions, they go, oh my gosh, and they'll stop taking it.
Oh no, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing. Debbie Stella said, Rena, did you say that your son took the Detox Super Pack?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
He takes it 3 times a day.
3 times a day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And let me let you know, Jeff paints cars for a living. That's what he loves it. He does it, and he does it for a living. So he wears all of the, protection gear, but you still walk through the shop. You still, yeah. So
Paints cars.
He paints cars.
Yeah, my hearing is not good. I thought you said he plays cards. And I thought,
cards.
I can see him on that show in Vegas where they're, but paints cars. My older brother used to own a body shop and painted cars for a living. This is many, many years ago. And before I don't know. I mean, they were supposed to wear the ventilators and stuff back then, but he was kind of whatever. And he ended up with spots on his kidneys and his bladder, cancer spots.
Yeah.
And when the guy said, what do you do for a living? And he said, well, I paint cars. And they said, oh, the toxins in those paints, are bad. Yeah. Yeah.
About 3 years ago, he changed shops because they use water soluble paints instead of the oil-based toxins. And they're very adamant about wearing their protection. And Jeff lost friends and people that he painted cars with for 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I know this is a touchy subject for women, but I don't think anybody on this call who's watching this live or watching this replay would ever guess your age, because you look so young. And what's really cool, and you were saying earlier about your arthritis and your tumors and all the illnesses that you have or had, and now to see you and to see how amazing you look, your skin looks, your hair, and you're constantly on social media taking hikes up in the mountains. And when you live high at these high altitudes, the oxygen levels are much lower. So how much do you feel, just personally for yourself, that these products have benefited you and your personal health?
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, I think most of what I've enjoyed, besides getting better skin, I really do think my skin is better. But being able to thinking is big. And I felt like I was going downhill mentally. I wasn't going crazy, but I was, kind of lagging. And so now I feel like I'm back to my pretty much normal.
Yeah. Person. Yeah, it's amazing. And is it okay if I share your age?
Okay.
Rena is 73 years old. And the first time I heard you say that was on a call that we were doing similar to this, and I about dropped my I was like, do what? There's no way. I mean, you look amazing. Your energy level's amazing. Your knowledge, your wisdom. I mean, it's just powerful. And
Thank you.
We would love to take all the credit, but I'm sure it's got a lot to do with your the other personal lifestyle as well, and making sure that you're alkalizing your body, and that's so important. So important. Yeah. So does anybody else have any questions before we let Miss Rena go? Rena, I just want to tell you while we're waiting to see if any questions pop up that you're a wealth of knowledge. We just love having you as part of our team and part of our organization, and just the fact that you love sharing the products and sharing with people. So I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your wisdom, and can't wait for someone to see this test actually on a live. When we did it before, we actually had it connected to their microscope, connected to a television.
Yeah, and my microscope, which is right there in the corner, over there in the corner, it attaches to anything. It attaches to my computer. We can do PowerPoint, put it up on the screen, and everybody can see your blood.
Yeah. I mean, I saw Lori said, "Wow, beautiful." Rena, you're incredible. We're getting lots of good accolades here. Lori is a big a Purebody extra bandit. She loves sharing that product and just loves that product. And so I'm sure this will be a video that she'll share. Here's Debbie. You look amazing. And the hiking is awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. More thank yous. Pure Servant Warrior. You know, we really appreciate all y'all tuning in tonight and watching this, and I'm sure that this will very likely be one of our most watched videos on YouTube, because if you're watching it as a recording on our Facebook page, or if you're here and you know that and you say, because I got lots of people going, how do I share this? How do I share it? Well, you can go to our team YouTube channel, and that is a public channel. And you can, click on the video and click share and share the link. So, Rena, thank you again. I appreciate your time. Wealth of knowledge. What a blessing.
Thanks for having me, Alan.
All righty. Y'all have a great night. We love you. We appreciate everybody. And be sure to share this information, because people just don't know. And people don't know the impact it can